deeper understanding and mutual cooperation in various fields. The relationship between the two countries was further strengthened with increasing interactions and cultural exchanges, further bridging the gap between the two nations. Since then, the trade volume between the two nations has risen extensively. Trade between Indonesia and Korea involves a variety of products. For Korea, Indonesia has been a valuable source of natural resources. The largest exports from Indonesia to Korea have been in the sectors of coal briquettes, petroleum gas, and palm oil, indicating Indonesia's strength in supporting Korea's critical industries and energy sector. Another major milestone is the Indonesia-Korea Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA, that was initiated by the governments of the two countries in 2012 and signed in Seoul in 2020. This united front gave rise to CEPA's entry into force on January 1st, 2023, accelerating shared prosperity and growth between Indonesia and Korea through free trade, investment, and economic cooperation. With the implementation of CEPA underway, Indonesia and Korea's cooperation in the investment sector is poised to reach new heights. Notably, in 2022, Korea emerged as Indonesia's seventh largest foreign investor, injecting an impressive $2.29 billion into the country's economy. Korea now plays a strong role for Indonesia to move up in the global value chain through the development of its manufacturing sector, which includes automotive, petrochemical, metal, renewable energy, and information technology, as well as in the field of infrastructure development.
The Indonesia-Korea Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement that came into effect in early 2023 is driving increased trade and investment. Going forward, three key priorities will shape our relationship. First, we need to boost our trade and investment ties by fully utilizing the CEPA, particularly in sectors such as technology, renewable energy, and manufacture. Second, to strengthen and ensure a long-lasting relationship, we need to invest in youth, taking into account their role as future leaders of our two nations. In this regard, we need to explore new collaboration in various fields that involve more participation of our younger generation, including creative and digital industry, startup, and SMEs. Lastly, we should aim for greater collaboration in regional and global forums to address shared challenges and contribute to peace, stability, and sustainability.
In order to foster a closer friendship, Indonesia Center and Busan University of Foreign Studies was established on June 2, 2022. This center facilitates cultural and educational exchanges through language courses, research initiatives, and student exchange programs to deepen understanding and appreciation of Indonesian culture in Korea. To promote mutual understanding, the Embassy of Indonesia in Seoul also initiates various activities such as the Indonesian language class, gamelan class, as well as the traditional dance class. On the other side, the Korean Cultural Center in Jakarta was established earlier in 2011 and serves as a dynamic platform for enhancing cultural ties between Indonesia and Korea. Indonesia and Korea also strengthen friendship through cooperation in creative economy sectors, generating sustainable economic opportunities while promoting the essence of our national identities on the global stage. The relationship between the two countries was elevated to a special strategic partnership. This strategic partnership encompassed enhanced cooperation in various sectors, reflecting a mutual commitment to strengthen bilateral relations.
Korea Selatan merupakan salah satu mitra penting Indonesia di Asia Timur.
인도네시아는 아세안의 선도국이자 동남아 국가 중 유일하게 우리와 특별 전략적 동반자 관계를 맺고 있습니다.
The agreement was a clear testament to the increasing importance of the relationship between Indonesia and Korea. The journey of the Indonesia-Korea relationship has been characterized by mutual respect, cultural understanding, and economic cooperation. The shared history and mutual aspirations of both nations lay a solid foundation for a bright future, one that promises prosperity and continued friendship. With the strength of their past and the potential of their future, Indonesia and Korea are poised to continue their journey together, carving a path of shared growth, development, and mutual respect in the years to come.
Selamat merayakan 50 tahun persahabatan Indonesia-Korea Selatan.
This year marks the 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations between Indonesia and the Republic of Korea. Today, Indonesia and ROK are more than close friends. We are special strategic partner. Happy 50th anniversary. Kansa Hamida, I thank you very much.
Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Saya sangat senang. Tahun ini Korea dan Indonesia menyambut peringatan 50 tahun hubungan diplomatik. Let's unite in our efforts in the spirit of gotong royong for a closer friendship, stronger partnership. Terima kasih.
I would like to congratulate both of my fellow Indonesian as well as our Korean friends on the 50th anniversary of friendship between Indonesia and Korea. Congratulations. Indonesia-Korea, Sarangeo. Thank you, terima kasih, Hamsamida.
Hello, nama saya Sangyepi dari Hyundai Motor Company. This project aims to acknowledge the significance of the 50-year milestone between Korea and Indonesia.
Kami ingin menggabungkan dari sesuatu dari kedua negara tersebut. Korea diwakili oleh electric vehicle yang diproduksi oleh Hyundai, sementara dari sisi Indonesia diwakili oleh batik.
Kawung itu salah satu pola tertua pada batik. Kawung merupakan stilisasi dari buah kolang-kaling, yang artinya sendiri dalam bahasa Jawanya adalah madep limo pancer, 4 titik saling berhadapan di satu titik yang sempurna, melambangkan kesempurnaan.
As we will commence the event shortly. We would like to inform you that food and drinks are not allowed in this auditorium, as you can enjoy the snacks and drinks provided outside this room. We also want to inform you that in case of emergency, please find your way to exit door, which is in the front of this auditorium, and the emergency stairs are located next to the elevator. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, all distinguished guests and excellencies. It is such a pleasure to have you all here and welcome to the public lecture, Korea's Role in East Asia Community Building and Indonesia-Korea Partnerships, and the book launch of Keajaiban Sungai, Korea Selatan, Mengguncang Dunia. Can we please give a big round of applause, everyone? Thank you very much. Before we commence this event, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Valentina Chelsea, and I will be the master of ceremony for today's event. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and excellencies, as part of Universitas Prasetyo Mulia, the Center for East Asian Studies, or CEAS, is a collaborative platform for learning about East Asia. The center was launched in June 2024 and aims to conduct and promote research and studies on latest developments on the region to explore challenges and opportunities for Indonesia and provide research-based policy analysis on how Indonesia could expand and strengthen its engagement in East Asia. And to learn more about the Center for East Asian Studies, let us now watch a short video profile from the Center for East Asian Studies.
The world center of gravity has now moved to East Asia. The region is characterized by remarkable economic progress, especially in Japan, South Korea, some ASEAN states, and the most phenomenal of all, China. Trade has been a key driver of development in the region, accounting for 17% of global trade in goods and services. Intra-regional trade and cooperation has also expanded rapidly over the last 2 decades. Remarkable technological modernization and innovation, especially in new emerging technologies, is taking place at an unprecedented pace. This strategic transformation is of paramount importance for Indonesia's economic, business, trade, and technology developments. As an active participant in promoting cooperation among countries in this region, it is imperative for us to build a deep understanding and knowledge about East Asia. In response to this pressing need, Universitas Prasetyo Mulia established the Center for East Asian Studies, or CEAS. This center will conduct research and studies on the latest developments of the region, explore challenges and opportunities for Indonesia, and provide research-based policy analysis.
Center for East Asian Studies is designed as a platform for this cooperative, independent analysis, and I look forward to cooperating with similar institutions around our region in East Asia.
We need to have experts and scholars who understand developments of East Asia in many sectors: business, trade, technology, investment, finance, and also political security. The center will be the primary platform for both research and teaching on East Asia at Universitas Prasetyo Mulia.
The center would complement our plan to establish international study programs on East Asia, covering all areas: political and security, economic, trade and investments, but also language and culture of East Asia.
At the Center for East Asian Studies, Universitas Prasetyo Mulia, we believe that Indonesia will do well if it understands its strategic environment well. This means we must have a pool of expertise, scholars, and researchers who study, do research, generate knowledge, and teach on contemporary East Asia. The center is to become a primary platform for that. Your support will be an essential part in this endeavor to place Indonesia as the fulcrum of East Asia.
The center, as an integral part of the university, would also support the development of expertise in East Asia through educational and training programs. We firmly believe that a deeper understanding of our region would enable Indonesia to navigate challenges ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, all distinguished guests and excellencies, before we continue this event with opening remarks, I would like to warmly greet our distinguished guests and excellencies that have been present today with us. First, we have Bapak Yusuf Wanandi, Vice Chair, Board of Trustees, CSIS Foundations, and Chair of Advisory Board, Center for East Asian Studies. Good afternoon, Bapak. And I would like to warmly greet also Professor Jisman Simanjuntak, Rector of Universitas Prasetyo Mulia and Chair Board of Directors CSIS Foundations. And I would like to warmly greet Excellency Park Jin, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea. And I would like also to warmly greet Bapak Rizal Sukma, Excellency Rizal Sukma, Executive Director of CEAS. And I would like to warmly greet also representation from CSIS Foundation, Bapak Sofian Wanandi dan Bapak Prasetyo, as well as Executive Director of CSIS, Bapak Yose Rizal Damuri. Ladies and gentlemen, all distinguished guests and excellencies, we are honored today to have not only one, but two welcoming remarks from two esteemed speakers. So please join me to welcome Bapak Yusuf Wanandi, Vice Chair Board of Trustees, CSIS Foundations, and Chair Advisory Board of Center for East Asian Studies. The stage is yours, Bapak.
Excellencies, distinguished speakers, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. As Chair of the Advisory Board, Center for East Asian Studies, or CEAS, at University Prasetyo Mulia, it is my great honor to extend a warm welcome to all of you today. This event is not possible without the support from CSIS, Indonesia's embassy in Seoul, and His Excellency Gandhi Sutiosanto, to whom I would like to express my gratitude. We are privileged today to hear a public lecture from a truly distinguished guest, His Excellency Park Jin, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea. His tenure as Foreign Minister from 22 to 24 marked a critical period in Korea's diplomatic engagement, especially in its active participation in fostering regional and global peace. We look forward to his insight on how Korea, through its policies and initiatives, has contributed to building a more connected and stable East Asian community. As we reflect on Korea's contribution to the region, we are also reminded of the profound transformations Korea has undergone in the past few decades. Once an emerging economy, Korea has now not only grown into a global economic powerhouse, but also a cultural and technological leader. Its journey from the banks of the Han River to become a key player on the global stage is a remarkable story. And today we celebrate a story of transformation through the book launch of a new book, Keajaiban Sungai Han, Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia, Miracle of the Han River, how South Korea shakes the world. Authored by Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo, political counselor at the Indonesian embassy in Seoul. Here. Dr. Sigit's insights are particularly valuable as they shed light on factors behind Korea's rise and what other nations, including Indonesia, can learn from this incredible success story. As we celebrate this book launch, we are reminded that the ties between Indonesia and Korea are built not only on economic cooperation, but also on mutual respect, learning, and shared aspirations. Ladies and gentlemen, over the past decades, our two nations have developed strong ties across various sectors. Now, the relationship has grown tremendously. Indonesia, as the largest economy in Southeast Asia, and Korea, a global leader in technology and innovation, have much to offer each other. Our collaboration in key areas such as infrastructure development, human capital investment, and innovation-driven industries reflects the trust and shared vision that we hold. I have high hopes for an Indonesian-Korean partnership that could serve as a model for regional cooperation. And in the context of East Asia and Southeast Asia, where geopolitical complexities and evolving security challenges demand robust cooperation. The relationship between Indonesia and Korea exemplifies how dialogue, diplomacy, and shared values can bring about tangible benefits. Our bilateral relationship is a critical component of the broader regional framework, contributing to regional stability, economic integration, and the pursuit of peace. We must work closely together, not only to safeguard the peace and stability we have enjoyed, but also to ensure that future generations inherit a region that is more inclusive, more connected, and more prosperous. This brings us back to the essence of today's event, reflecting on Korea's role in East Asia and its partnership with Indonesia. As we discuss these themes, I encourage all of us to think deeply about the ways in which our nations can continue to collaborate, innovate, and lead the way towards a brighter future. In closing, I would like to express my sincere appreciation to His Excellency Park Jin for his presence today and for sharing his thoughts with us. I also would like to thank Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo for his contribution through his book, which will serve as a valuable resource for those seeking to understand Korea's remarkable journey. Finally, my deepest thanks go to all of you for being here and contributing to what I am sure will be a meaningful and enriching discussion. Thank you, and I look forward to the insight exchanges we will have today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Bapak Yusufwandi, for your insightful remarks. And I would like to invite Professor Jisman Simanjutak to deliver his opening remarks.
Thank you. His Excellency Minister Pak Jin, His Excellency Minister Martina Talegawa, we have seen you very little part over the last few years, but you need your presence while we are trying to build our better understanding about the world outside Indonesia. Once again, I'm Jisman Simanjuntak, an economist by training and currently still serving as rector of Universitas Prasetyo Mulia. I'm here to say thanks, gratitude to all of you for making this event possible today. I was heavily involved in this evolution of cooperation in East Asia. Not as much as Pak Yusuf, but I was part of these exercises. And I think, let me share with you a few impressions from my side of how ideas on cooperation in our part of the world have evolved so far. We have had a lot of developments, and in these developments, I think Korea, I think the role of Korea is somehow underestimated. Korea has played a very central role in making our region coming closer to one another. There are a number of reasons for this. Number one is, and I'm sorry to use this word, sorry to our Japanese and Chinese friends. In the decades that I was involved in these exercises, I observed a kind of permafrost in the relationship between China and Japan. I was part of the study group on EAFTA. And I was also part of the study group on CPA. And I observed this kind of permafrost. And because of this, we need builders of bridge in our region. And I think Korea has been serving an important role in this. Number two, Korea, South Korea, has developed to become a science and technology hub, not of the region, but of the world. I think every four of us has a second self called Samsung. At least one of us has our second self here. And iPhone is still higher, but I think the fact that Samsung has made it to where it is now in the world tells a great deal about how Koreans have developed over the years. And in patenting in the area of AI, artificial intelligence, South Korea leads the entire world on a per capita basis. More patents per capita are issued in Korea than anywhere else, including North America and Europe when it comes to artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, they are going to be our partner in serving the next part of our life. Number three, Korea has built a tremendous network of cooperation through KOTRA. That I think there, Korea has been very successful. I don't know who has been more successful, whether it is KOTRA or similar institution in Japan, JETRO. But I think KOTRA has also built a great deal of bridges. But KOTRA, of course, is confined to economics and trade. My hope is that through dialogues of this kind and different kinds, Korea can contribute in other fields of life outside the economics and trade sector. This is the hope. And I think pusat studi Asia Timur. Will be very grateful to collaborate with similar institutions from the region, not only, of course, from Korea, but also from the rest of East Asia. We Indonesians still we are very much constrained in our ability in addressing issues of international dimensions. We have not done enough to build capacity in discussing, let alone in integrating international policy issues into our domestic policy. And I hope PSIT, the center, however small, will be able to leverage the little resources that we have to develop more relations in the years to come, and not only in respect of studies, because we also need to educate people. And Prasetyo Mulia is committed to do this despite all the constraints facing us this day. Once again, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you, Minister Park, for your presence and keynote speech. And I also thank Pak Sigit for the book written on Sungai. Believe it or not, all civilizations originated in rivers. Mesopotamia in Tigris and Euphrates, China, of course, in Yangtze Kiang and Huanghe, and Sriwijaya, don't forget, Sungai Musi. Yeah? With this, let me once again express my deep gratitude to all role players in this event, and I hope to see you again in a different format in the events to be organized by our center. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Professor Kisman Simanjuta, for your insightful remarks. Now, ladies and gentlemen and excellencies, we are also privileged to have a video speech from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who will share their perspective through video speech. So without further ado, let us listen to the video speech from Her Excellency Ibu Retno Marsudi, Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia.
Ambassador Rizal Sukma, my good friend Park Jin, Bapak Yusuf Wanandi, Bapak Professor Kisman Simanjuntak, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, my apology for not being able to attend this important meeting in person. Today is my last day at the office and I have to wrap up everything before I left the ministry. A special welcome to Park Jin. Welcome back to Jakarta, to be more exact. I enjoy very much working with Park Jin when he was the foreign minister of ROK. Good friendship between the two of us remains until now. Colleagues, the role of ROK in East Asia community building is strategically important. I just returned from attending the ASEAN summits and related summits in Vientiane, and I'm very happy to see the elevation of ASEAN-ROK partnership to a comprehensive strategic partnership. East Asia is a region of rapid change, where economic growth and innovations are reshaping our world. It accounts for nearly 30% of the global GDP, led by powerhouse economies, including the ROK. ROK in particular stands out as a global innovation leader, consistently ranking at the top of the Bloomberg Innovation Index due to its advanced technology, R&D, and strong manufacturing capabilities. Its economic transformation, often referred to as the miracle of the Han River, further underscored the power of the ROK's innovation and its contribution to the region. While East Asia continues to thrive as a global economic and innovation hub, the region's long-term success depends on how effectively countries can work together to address inequality, promote sustainability, and foster peace. In this context, I wish to underline that Indonesia and ROK are more than just close friends. We are special strategic partners with converging economic interests and shared values of democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. There are two key areas where our special strategic partnership can contribute toward addressing the challenge of our time. First, promoting green growth and accelerating energy transition. ROK is widely recognized as one of the leaders in environmental innovations, including green and clean technology. Indonesia very much wants to collaborate with ROK in our quest toward net zero emission. I hope our collaboration can facilitate stronger green investment in Indonesia, including the development of the battery-based EV industry ecosystem and renewable energy industries. Second, preserving regional peace and stability. Colleagues, amidst current geopolitical dynamics, Indonesia and ROK must be part of a positive force that reduces tensions, builds bridges, and promotes confidence and trust in the region. It is important that we synergize our effort to realize a peaceful, stable, and prosperous Indo-Pacific region. Colleagues, distinguished participants, as we look toward the future of East Asia, I'm confident that ROK will continue to play an important role in the region's development and in economic innovation. Indonesia stands ready to work hand in hand with South Korea and all countries in East Asia to create an inclusive, stable, and prosperous region. Thank you. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you very much, Ibu Retno, for your video speech. And now, ladies and gentlemen, and all distinguished guests, we have now finally come to our main event, which is the public lecture by Excellency Park Jin, and also the book launch, Keajaiban Sungai, Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia, written by Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo, Political Counsellor, Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Seoul. This session will be moderated by Executive Director of CSIS Indonesia, Dr. Yose Rizal Damuri. So without further ado, I would like to invite all distinguished speakers for this session. First, I would like to invite Excellency Park Jin, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea, to come up on stage. And I also would like to invite Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo, Political Counsellor, Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Seoul, to come up on stage. And I would also like to invite Dr. Yose Rizal Damuri as moderator.
Thank you, Chelsea. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the public lecture on Korea's role in East Asia community building and Indonesia-Korean partnership, and also the book launch, Keajaiban Sungai, Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia. It is an honor for me. My name is Yose Rizal Damuri. I am the Executive Director of CSIS. I'm going to serve you as moderator today for this very important events. I don't think I need to repeat the remarkable story of success that Korea's development has achieved during the last 50 or 60 years. Pak Yusuf and also Pak Jisman has wonderfully described all this success and development. Korea has emerged as one important global economic power with its economic dynamisms and also technological prowess. In these regions, Korea's position and also contributions are also more crucial than ever. I think from its roles in fostering regional security, its effort in economic partnership, to its active participation in multilateral forums, Korea continues to be a key player in addressing pressing regional issues. And of course, we cannot discuss Korea's presence in these regions or globally without mentioning the power of soft diplomacy through pop culture diffusions that Korea perhaps in the last 20 years have been remarkably successful on that issue. Neither I need to stress the importance of Korea and Indonesia relations. Indonesia and Korea have maintained a very close diplomatic relationship since they established formal ties in 1973. Korea and Indonesia relationship is marked by significant growth across multiple domains, with both countries try to leverage their strategic partnership to enhance political dialogue, security cooperation, cultural exchange, and also economic integrations. Although I am of the opinion that the relations of Indonesia and Korea still be enhanced, especially in the current context of geopolitical and geoeconomic dynamics. We know that the East Asia region is struggling with escalating tensions in several territories across the regions. So in this forum, we'll have a chance to look at Korea more closely from very knowledgeable speakers. We are especially privileged today to have with us distinguished speaker, His Excellency Dr. Park Jin, a former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea. Excellency Park Jin has had a remarkable career in both diplomacy and politics, having served 4 terms in National Assembly and played a critical role in shaping Korea's foreign policy. Dr. Park Jin was instrumental in advancing President Yoon Suk-yeol's foreign and security policies, including also Korean ASEAN Solidarity Initiative, KASI, from Terima Kasih perhaps. And also strengthening the ties between Indonesia and Korea. Excellency Park Jin got his PhD in politics from Oxford University after completing his master and also undergraduate degree in Harvard and Seoul National University. A very remarkable university for all of those remarkable educational backgrounds. So we are very fortunate that Dr. Park Jin will be the speaker for today. In these occasions, we'll also have a book launch, Keajaiban Sungai, Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia, written by Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo, Political Counsellor, Embassy of the Republic of Indonesia in Seoul, Republic of Korea. So after the lecture from Excellency Park Jin, we will have the book launch, and also we will have the writer of the book will introduce us to the content of the book. This is perhaps the first book in Bahasa Indonesia about the miracle of Han River. So it's a very interesting and very informative book. So without further ado, I would like to invite Excellency Dr. Park Jin to deliver the lectures. Please, you have 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
Thank you very much. Hello semuanya, nama saya Park Jin. Actually, I have some more. Saya adalah mantan Menteri Luar Negeri Republik Korea. Merupakan kehormatan dan kebahagiaan bagi saya untuk berbicara di hadapan hadirin yang terhormat dan memberikan kuliah umum hari ini. Thank you. So I'm Park Jin, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea. I remember I was here several years ago, before I became foreign minister, to meet with the audience. And I really enjoyed my talk and the interaction, but today I think it's a full house. And I'm very grateful for all of you for being here to share our thoughts on the future together, Korea and Indonesia in the Indo-Pacific region. Thank you, Chairman Yusuf Wanandi and Sofian Wanandi, and Rector Professor Jisman Simanjuntak. Yes, thank you. And Dr. Yose Rizal Damri, it's a moderator today, Dr. Rizal Sukma, and His Excellency Ambassador Gandhi Sulistian, who is not here, and my good friend Clara Yuono, thank you, and also former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mati Natale Gawa. So nice to meet you again. And my good friends and excellent diplomats, distinguished guests, students, I thank you for being here today, and also I express my gratitude to the CSIS, CEAS, and Universitas Prasetyo Mulia for arranging this seminar. I would like to congratulate Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo, the political counsellor of the Indonesian embassy in Korea, for publishing his book, Keajaiban Sungai Han, Korea Selatan, Mengguncang Dunia, the miracle of a Han River. Now, we have another Han River, Miss Han Gang, who got the Nobel Peace Prize in literature area. So this is another miracle from our viewpoint, Han Gang, Han River. So I guess Sungai, the Indonesian, means Gang. So in Korean sequence is Han Sungai. We call it Han Gang. And that's the name of this novelist who received the Nobel Prize. I'm also grateful to the acting Korean ambassador, Mr. Park Sudok, for making his graceful presence here today. My topic that I want to explore with you is Korea's role in East Asia community building and prospect for Korea-Indonesia partnership. This is a long title, but I think that the gist of the title is the future. Where are we going together, Korea and Indonesia as a good friends? What kind of future are we going to make together? I think that's the main topic of today's talk. Korea's primary contribution to East Asia community building is, I think, through economic integration. Korea plays a key role in promoting economic integration in East Asia. We are located in Northeast Asia. Indonesia is in Southeast Asia. But somehow together, we are creating the future. Korea is very much involved in trade and investment, and especially the Regional Comprehensive Economic Network Partnership, RCEP, which Indonesia initiated to create the region-wide trade network, and the Korea-ASEAN Free Trade Agreement, which I myself passed in my committee in the Korean Foreign Affairs, Trade and Unification Committee in the Korean National Assembly, believing that this Korea-ASEAN Free Trade Agreement will begin the new chapter in the history of our regional prosperity. And I think that my idea at the time was exactly right, that this free trade agreement is creating added momentum for regional prosperity and the regional freedom. Korea's advanced industries, including technology and manufacturing, help drive regional supply chains and contribute to economic cooperation across East Asia. RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, entered into force in January last year, so it's quite recent. It's only about 1.5 years old. And that was in time with Indonesia's chairmanship of the ASEAN last year. And RCEP is the world's largest trade agreement, which includes 10 ASEAN countries and 3 Northeast Asian countries, Korea, China, Japan, and Oceania, that is Australia and New Zealand. This 15-member region-wide trade network is working now. And this aims to reduce tariffs, of course, and standardize trade rules and promote deeper economic cooperation across the region. And Korea's involvement in this agreement strengthens its trade ties across the region, fostering greater regional economic integration. This is the first point that I mentioned in terms of Korea's contribution to the community building by enhancing supply chains. Now we know that because of the impact of war in Europe, the war in Ukraine, and the crisis in the Middle East, the supply chain is now being disrupted. So it will be difficult for any country to find the materials that you need to produce good products. So we have to make sure that the supply chains are stabilized and diversified. So RCEP helps these efforts by the member countries, enhance supply chains, increase market access for goods and services, and facilitate investment flows. Indonesia is the largest economy in ASEAN and the 5th largest among the RCEP parties, among the 15 members. Korea has a well-established free trade agreement with ASEAN, which was initiated in 2005. It's almost 20 years ago, and fully implemented 2010, which is 14 years ago. And this will facilitate trade in goods, services, and investment between Korea and ASEAN member state. So Korea's contribution to the East Asia community building, I think, is most visible in the area of economy, especially very relevant for the ASEAN region, which is looking to enhance its digital economy at a time of digital transformation and infrastructure development and technological advancement. So Korea's investment in this area, digital infrastructure, smart cities, and green technologies, further integrates the economies of East Asia, particularly in sectors like the ICT, information and communication technology, manufacturing, and renewable energy. And I think that Indonesia, more than any other country, is very interested in entering into this advanced industrial sectors. So through RCEP and our free trade with the ASEAN, Korea helps deepen regional supply chain in the areas of semiconductors and automobiles, now electric vehicles and electronics. Next is a diplomatic mediation. Korea's contribution to the East Asia community building as a middle power, aspiring to play its active role as a global pivotal state, and we call it GPS. Korea acts as a mediator between larger powers like China, Japan, and the United States in regional diplomacy. The concept of global pivotal state is the brainchild of our campaign, President Yoon Suk-yeol's campaign in 2022 in January. this concept was announced, the idea is for Korea to reach out and play a global role to contribute to freedom, peace, and prosperity. Because Korea is a country that was most helped by the international community when the country's economy was totally devastated by the Korean War almost 70 years ago. To rapidly develop into an advanced economy, we were helped by the liberal trade order, and also we were assisted by many of our friends. Now Korea wants to pay back to the international community to contribute to freedom, peace, and prosperity, and that is GPS. Now GPS, of course, all of us carry GPS in our pockets, tells you where you are and where you are going. So Korean GPS, the Korean foreign policy, is equipped with the GPS device to let us know where we are and where we are going. I mentioned this to the American Secretary of State, Tony Blinken, in the State Department when I visited Washington and explained to him what GPS is. And he says, "Oh, can I borrow your GPS?" So I said, "Oh yes, as long as you endorse our intellectual property right for the GPS, I'm very willing to share the GPS with you because it tells you where you are going." But anyway, the initiatives such as the ASEAN Plus 3, ASEAN Plus Korea, China, and Japan, this is very important. We have no ASEAN in Northeast Asia, but we are ASEAN's friends. And the three countries, Korea, China, Japan, can meet, sit down, and talk constructively because of the ASEAN. So ASEAN is like an anchor. I think that's the centrality of ASEAN that we are taking advantage of, and we are grateful to the members of ASEAN. And East Asia Summit with 18 member countries, including United States and Russia, India. So we have a multi-layered, multilateral venues for discussing our regional issue among us. And ASEAN is always at the center, which is great. So Korea would like to foster dialogue and cooperation together with ASEAN. And Indonesia is a very important partner in that sense, trying to reduce tensions and enhance trust within the region. The ASEAN Plus 3, which call it APT mechanism, as I mentioned, 10 ASEAN countries plus Korea, China, Japan, was established in the aftermath of a crisis. If you remember 1997 financial crisis in Southeast Asia, to try to deal with the challenges, to minimize the negative impact of the financial crisis, and to come out with a multinational program to overcome the crisis, the Chiang Mai multilateral process, to enhance regional cooperation in economic, financial, and political areas. So crisis creates opportunities. I think that this APT is as a prime example of that creative diplomacy. Korea can play a mediating role between China and Japan. We are geographically in the middle of Northeast Asian community, and Seoul's ability to constructively engage with our neighbors, Beijing and Tokyo, and makes us an important intermediary, fostering collective regional initiatives. The trilateral secretariat among the three countries is located in Seoul. So we act as a secretarial host for this trilateral cooperation. And Yoon Suk-yeol government has resumed and revitalized the Trilateral Foreign Ministers meeting, of which I was a member, and the Trilateral Summit, which took place this year in May in Korea. So, major economic initiatives taken by the APT, or I already mentioned Chiang Mai Initiative, multilateralization is a good example. Regional currency swap, when one country is running short of the hard currency, then other countries can come to the aid and help. Arrangement aimed at providing financial stability during crisis. I think it's an insurance policy made by this APT. So by working closely with ASEAN and other two Northeast Asian powers, Korea helps to ensure that economic cooperation remains a focal point. And we want to promote regional integration through joint economic and financial strategies. Although we do not have multinational organizations like EU, but I think that APT, ASEAN Plus 3, is playing a significant role. Now, the areas where this can contribute includes health, education, and environment. And for example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Korea contributed to public health initiatives and shared its expertise in handling the crisis with the ASEAN partners. The East Asia Summit, what I mentioned, includes ASEAN plus APT members and additional partners like the US, Russia, Australia, India, and New Zealand. And it provides a broader forum for dialogue, not only on security and economic issues, but also political issues, which I think is necessary to deal with the crisis and overcome the challenges. You need to discuss political issues as well. So Korea's participation in the EAS is crucial for promoting dialogue on pressing security concerns, such as North Korea's nuclear issue, as you all know, maritime security, especially in South China Sea, and regional stability. Korea is one of the key stakeholders in Northeast Asia, but also we are very concerned about the situation in other areas of the region, including Taiwan Straits and also in South China Sea. So Korea can act as a conduit for multilateral dialogue to encourage communication between ASEAN and the larger global powers like the United States and China. Cultural diplomacy, as our moderator mentioned, is another area of importance which Korea can contribute to the East Asian community building. Korea's global cultural influence through Hallyu, or Korean Wave, enhances its soft power diplomacy in East Asia. Korean entertainment, such as drama, movie, fashion, food, and pop culture, helps build cultural bridges across the region, contributing to greater cultural exchange and mutual understanding. Now, I don't know all the K-pop groups myself, but I know some of them, like BTS, the Blackpink, Twice, NCT, EXO, Super Junior, Girls' Generation. My daughter told me that they enjoy massive fan bases across Southeast Asia, particularly in Indonesia and Thailand, the Philippines and Vietnam. K-dramas like Crash Landing on You, know it? Goblin, have you? Goblin? This is about small red door in Montreal, Quebec. Descendants of the Sun by Song Joong-ki, yeah, are immensely popular. And now the extraordinary lawyer Woo Young-woo. Yeah. So these are available on local streaming platforms and TV channels, and they spark discussions and influencing local media. And these cultural products have reshaped, I think, entertainment in Southeast Asia, where Korean contents are popular and contributing to the community building on a cultural dimension. NK beauty also has impacted beauty markets and the consumer preference in Southeast Asia. Korean cosmetics brand such as Etude House, Innisfree, Laneige are popular across the region. And the use of Korean beauty routines and skincare products has been widely adopted by the young generation. Korean food, I know you already experienced some of them, especially dishes like bibimbap. You mix everything together. Mix everything. And it is Korean word bibida. Bibida means mix everything. So it's bibimbap. It's a mixed rice. Kimchi and Korean barbecue has gained a strong following in Southeast Asia. Korean restaurants have proliferated in cities like Jakarta, Bangkok, and Manila, often becoming trendy dining spots. And the influence of Korean cooking styles and flavor has also been integrated into local food culture, further embedding Hallyu in daily life. Now in Korea, the most popular Netflix program is Black and White Chefs. This is a fierce competition between the professionals and amateurs about how tasty and wonderful looking cuisines you can create. So the Korean culture, Korean wave, and the cultural exchange, I think will continue to be important for our community building. Now, in reverse, we should introduce more Indonesian culture to Korea. We need more Indonesian restaurants in Seoul. And we need more Indonesian exchange of students and the cultural exchange between the two countries. And I see the Ambassador Gandhi Sulistianto, who just came in, did a tremendous job in bringing the two countries closer together as a diplomatic bridge. And I really pay my tribute to your contribution and achievement. Please give him big rounds of applause. He just met President Jokowi. And the popularity of Hallyu has led to a surge in Southeast Asian tourists visiting Korea. And the Southeast Asian markets have seen increased demand for Korean products, electronics, and cosmetics, and so on. So we need to expand the cultural exchange in the area of education, scholarships, and educational initiatives, such as learning the Korean language and Korean culture and history. Now, the next area is security cooperation in order to contribute to the community building. Korea is active participant in regional security discussions, particularly related to North Korea's nuclear threat, already I mentioned. Through trilateral cooperation with US and Japan and diplomatic engagement with ASEAN countries, Korea contributes to peace-building efforts and the maintenance of regional security. Although ASEAN countries are geographically detached from the Korean peninsula, North Korea's nuclear and missile programs pose a broader security risk to the entire East and Southeast Asian region. Korea's cooperation with the ASEAN in this context focuses on diplomatic engagement, regional security dialogue, and capacity building efforts. Now, we recently had an ASEAN summit meeting in Vientiane in Laos, and the leaders of the ASEAN countries, together with the APT countries, Korea, China, and Japan, send a message to North Korea that what they are doing is dangerous, stop provocation, come back to the dialogue table, and move towards denuclearization. Because that's the best way for maintaining peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula. So we see eye to eye, we're on the same page with regard to North Korean issue. So Korea has provided capacity building assistance in the security area to ASEAN countries, especially in cyber security, intelligence sharing, and counter-terrorism, which are increasingly relevant given the possibility of nuclear or missile threats in the broader region. Korea's security cooperation with ASEAN also extends to the region of South China Sea, a vital sea lane and shipping route where sovereignty disputes have raised concerns over freedom of navigation and international law. We would like to see the rules-based international order is maintained, and the international law of the sea, UNCLOS, is well respected. And there is no unilateral change of status quo by force. That's the basic position of Korean government with regard to this potential security issue. Korea does not have territorial claims in the South China Sea, but it has consistently supported the rules-based international order and freedom of navigation and flight in the region, aligning itself with the position of ASEAN countries. And Korea supports ASEAN's call for the peaceful resolution of disputes based on international law. At the same time, Korea has stepped up its naval cooperation with ASEAN nations under Yoon Suk-yeol government, contributing to the regional maritime security and the protection of sea lanes in the South China Sea. I'm a former naval officer of the Republic of Korea, so I know how important is the maritime peace and security in any part of this region, South China Sea especially. Korea's military presence in this region, in Southeast Asia, is limited. Its Navy participates in multilateral naval exercises like the ASEAN Defense Ministers Meeting Plus, which fosters collaboration on issues like search and rescue, anti-piracy operation, and maritime surveillance. Korea's contribution to the maritime security, including provision of Navy vessels, equipment, and technology to ASEAN countries such as Indonesia, Vietnam, Philippines, and Malaysia, enhance, I think, regional security environment to safeguard the freedom of navigation. So, based on Yoon Suk-yeol government's new initiative towards the ASEAN, which we call Korea-ASEAN Solidarity Initiative, as our moderator mentioned, KASI, which aims to deepen ties with Southeast Asia, including the security issues. Korea can and Korea will contribute to regional peace and stability. Last but not least, Korea can contribute to the sustainability and development. Now we have to tackle the common challenge of climate change. Now, some people call it climate crisis. So we need to jointly make concerted efforts to tackle this issue together, and Korea and ASEAN should team up together.
Korea would like to share our expertise in green energy, including hydrogen energy, technology, and innovation. Korea's initiatives in smart cities, renewable energy, and digital infrastructure contribute to regional efforts for sustainable development and climate change mitigation, how to reduce the impact of the climate change. We have been actively investing in renewable energy projects in Southeast Asia, including solar, wind, and hydropower. Korean companies such as Korea Electric Power Corporation, KEPCO, and Korea Hydro and Nuclear Power, KHNP, are involved in renewable energy projects across the region, particularly in countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, and the Philippines. In Indonesia, Korea is also collaborating in geothermal energy development, a sector in which Indonesia has vast potential. And the cooperation focuses on knowledge transfer, financing, and technological support, making Korea a key partner in Southeast Asia's renewable energy transition. And Korea's experience in scaling up renewable energy and energy technologies is shared through ASEAN Korea Energy Cooperation Program. And this focuses on renewable energy technology, smart grid development, and energy security. And there's a smart city network as well, which was launched in 2019 between ASEAN and Korea. This aims to support ASEAN's smart cities network by promoting collaboration in sustainable urban development. And the initiative focuses on sharing Korea's experience in developing smart cities like Songdo, which is near Incheon in Korea, where the airport is located. We have a Songdo area, and Seoul, and integrating advanced technologies like transport, energy management, waste management, and urban governance. Korea has been working with individual ASEAN cities such as Jakarta, Bangkok, and Ho Chi Minh to help build digital infrastructure and enhance city management through smart solutions like intelligent traffic systems, energy efficient buildings for carbon neutral society, and smart water management. And we think that all of these are necessary for moving into a carbon-free future and more clean society. Korean companies like LG, Samsung, and Hyundai have played an important role in driving smart city innovations in Southeast Asia. These companies are involved in building digital infrastructure, including smart grids, high-speed internet, 5G networks, and now we are going to the 6G network, which are foundational to smart city development. Korea is also supporting ASEAN countries in the development of e-governance platforms, electronic governance platform that makes public administration, government organizations more efficient and accessible. This includes digital platforms for citizen engagement, real-time urban data management, and smart healthcare solutions. And I think these are all what Indonesia needs as well. Korea's approach to smart cities emphasizes sustainability, reducing carbon emissions, improving energy efficiency, promoting green mobility. So electric vehicle infrastructure, smart public transportation system, the renewable energy integration into urban power grids are all parts of this collaboration between Korea and Southeast Asia. So let me move on to the second part of our talk today. Then how we can cooperate together, Korea and Indonesia. Can I finish in 10 minutes? Sure. Okay, all right. If it's too long, please tell me. So, under the growing role of Korea in the East Asia community building, the prospects for Korea-India partnership is, I think, very bright. The Yoon Suk-yeol government and the new Prabowo Subianto government of Indonesia are expected to cooperate closely in 5 areas. The first one, defense and military cooperation. Korea and Indonesia should continue our defense collaboration with emphasis on joint arms production and technology transfer, such as KF-21 supersonic fighter jet project. Under President Prabowo Subianto's leadership, Indonesia is expected to strengthen its defense capabilities, aligning with Korea's defense manufacturing expertise. One of the most significant projects, which is KF-21 Borame fighter jet, Indonesia and Korea have collaborated on this program, with Indonesia contributing to funding and engineering expertise. The KF-21, the 4.5 generation multi-role fighter, represents a major milestone in Southeast Asia's defense capabilities. And Indonesia is expected to acquire up to 50 units once development is completed. Korea has also worked with Indonesia to build submarine fleet. The partnership involves technology transfer and the production of submarines based on the Korean Changbogo class design. We call it 209 class design. And Indonesia has already received the 3 submarines in 2011 through this partnership, bolstering its naval capabilities. In the area of naval defense, Korea has been a supplier of advanced missile systems to Indonesia. The partnership includes discussions about Korean-made naval defense systems into Indonesia's existing naval forces, particularly to enhance maritime security in the South China Sea and surrounding regions. As future cooperation, the expansion of joint development programs between the 2 countries looks promising in this area, defense technologies. This could include next generation military vehicles, missile systems, and possibly naval platforms. And discussions are ongoing about further collaboration in areas such as unmanned aerial vehicles, which is UAV, and cyber defense. Technology transfer will remain a cornerstone of future cooperation, with both countries aiming to elevate Indonesia's domestic defense manufacturing capabilities to build a more self-sufficient defense industry in this country. Indonesia seeks to modernize its military defense agreements, and now the cooperation between 2 countries is expected to be deepened. Second is economic and trade partnership. This will grow between Korea and Indonesia, definitely. 2 countries should enhance their trade relationship, particularly in sectors like electronics, steel, and automobiles. Korea's investment into Indonesia's growing market, coupled with Indonesia's rich natural resources, presents opportunities for mutual economic growth. We have very complementary economic environment. So, Korea-Indonesia Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement, CEPA, which came into effect in 2023, is expected to boost bilateral trade by reducing tariffs, improving market access, especially for Korean industrial goods and Indonesian agricultural products. the total trade volume between our two countries reached US $26 billion in 2022, showing up an upward trend. And Indonesia is Korea's largest trade partner in Southeast Asia after Vietnam. And the CEPA targets an increase in bilateral trade to US $30 billion by year 2025. Indonesia's major exports include coal, palm oil, rubber, copper, and textiles. And the energy sector, particularly coal, is a significant component of Indonesia's exports to Korea, given Korea's demand for energy resources. Korean exports high-value goods such as electronic cars, steel, chemicals, and machinery. And our brands like Samsung, Hyundai, and LG have a strong presence in Indonesia's consumer market. So Korea is a major investor in Indonesia in manufacturing, infrastructure, and energy sector. Our direct investment into Indonesia reached 41.6% increase last year compared to the previous year. That is a very big increase. And there are more than 2,100 Korean companies doing business in Indonesia. And I know the reason why we need more than 200 Korean restaurants in this country, in Jakarta. And the key Korean companies such as Hyundai, POSCO, LG, and Samsung have established a strong presence in this country, particularly in the automobile, steel, and electronics and energy sector. Korea's expertise in electric vehicles, batteries, and renewable energy positions it well to contribute to Indonesia's goal of reducing carbon emissions and developing sustainable development. We are also expected to deepen our cooperation in developing resilient regional supply chains, especially in these areas, electronics, automotive, and digital technologies. Given Indonesia's strategic position in Southeast Asia, it will remain a key partner for Korea in expanding its regional presence. Now, infrastructure and urban development is another area of importance, particularly in smart cities and transportation projects, and Indonesia's plan to develop its new capital city offer a significant opportunity for Korean firms specializing in infrastructure and urban planning. Korea has engaged in smart city project in Jakarta and Bandung. And these projects focus on integrating advanced technologies to improve urban services like traffic management, waste management, and public safety. In Bandung, Korea has worked with local authorities to implement smart lighting systems, smart waste collection, traffic flow monitoring systems to enhance urban living conditions. Korea has played a key role in the public transportation system, especially in Jakarta. Korean companies have been involved in the construction and expansion of Jakarta's mass rapid transit MRT system, which is crucial for reducing traffic congestion in the capital city. Korea's participation in Nusantara could pave the way for the city to become a hub for innovation and technology in Southeast Asia. Korean companies are heavily involved in renewable energy, solar and wind energy, as I mentioned at the beginning, and we will continue to do so. And Indonesia's potential for wind power generation is being tapped with the help of Korean expertise in the construction and management of wind farms. Okay, yeah, I will just come to a conclusion. Thank you. So Korea will continue to support Indonesia in building broader electric vehicle ecosystem, including charging infrastructure, battery recycling, and smart mobility solutions. And Korean companies like SK Group and Samsung SDI are exploring partnerships to develop battery recycling technologies, ensuring sustainability in the EV sector. Now, the new government that is going to be inaugurated the day after tomorrow, I think is taking office at a very important juncture, not only for Indonesia, but also for our bilateral partnership. And as we have been working closely with President Jokowi in the past, I hope that Korea-Indonesia partnership can develop more for the future and to create synergy between the two countries. And I am very grateful to the kind invitation of the CSIS and the University of Prasetyo Mulia, and ask for your continued support for our partnership. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency Dr. Park Jin. Well, a very interesting lecture that you provide us. Actually, I just realized that I have a lot of things to catch up for Korean culture, pop culture. Actually, I didn't know that many titles of the movies that you mentioned in your lecture. Well, but I believe there are many things that we can discuss from your lectures. You explore multidimensional aspects of cooperations in the regions, as well as how Indonesia and Korea can also contribute more for the creations of peace and stability in these regions, as well as how Indonesia and Korea could strengthen the relations by also exploring several areas that perhaps we haven't really seen in the past. You mentioned about the military and how Indonesia and Korea can enhance military and defense capacity, including also technological transfers area, as well as economic and trade partnership, such as the manufacturing of electronics and electric vehicle, including also the developments of smart cities in Indonesia. We have a lot of things that we can discuss later on, but we do have another event, another activities in these forums, which is the book launch of Keajaiban Sungai, Korea Selatan, Mengguncang Dunia, written by Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo. But before the book launch, and before I give the floor to Pak Sigit, I would like also to invite Excellency Gandhi Sulistianto, a member of Presidential Advisory Council, and also former ambassadors of the Republic of Indonesia to the Republic of Korea 2021-2023, to give your remarks. Please, Pak Sulis, the floor is yours. You can come to the stage here.
Bit sophisticated using the iPad, so that showing the digital. First of all, I would like to apologize for my being late just now, because I just came from Palace in order to welcoming and farewell for the President of Republic of Indonesia. So being the advisory to the President of Republic Indonesia, I should be part of the people who has engaged with this occasion. So once again, thank you for understanding that I'm just now came a bit late. Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to introduce myself in Korean language. So I hope this language is correct. If it is wrong, that's blame to my assistants, Korean assistants, who gave me this word. But it's right, that means this is my capability to speak in Korean. Okay, Jenan Indonesia de Tongryong, Jamun Wimon Hui, Gandhi Sulistianto Imida. Jone Juhan Indonesia Desa Ro, Etsot Sumida. Is this wrong or correct? Correct, okay.
Makes sense.
All right, thank you. For some Korean, hopefully you can, whisper me later on if it is wrong or correct. Okay. Thank you. His Excellency Park Jin, Dr. Park Jin, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of Republic of Korea, during my term as an ambassador in Korea. Mr. Yusuf Anandi, my senior, chairs of the Advisory Council Center of East Asia Studies, Prasetyo Mulia University. Professor Jisman Simanjuntak, Rector of Prasetyo Mulia University, Pak Jisman, long time not see. It seems so many years not seeing each other. Ibu Silda, my DCM, Ibu Silda, thank you for coming so far away from Seoul. Although, but 2 days ago, actually, she just came from here, then come back to Seoul, and I call again to come back here to Jakarta again. Thanks, Bu Silda, for your presence. Dr. Rizal, my colleague, Executive Director of CEAS, Executive Director of Center of East Asia Studies. Mr. Park Doksu, the DCM of Korean Embassy. Excellency Ambassadors, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start my speech, may allow me to convey regard from Ibu Retno Marsudi, I just met her just a few minutes ago, especially to the Excellency Dr. Park Jin, and also to all of you. It is an honor and pleasure to stand before you today at the launch of this remarkable works, Keajaiban Sungai, Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia, or The Miracle of the Han Rivers by Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo. Dr. Sigit's here. This book tells an incredible story of South Korea transformation, a journey that has inspired not just a nation in Asia, but the entire world. I would also like to commend Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo for his dedication in producing this important work. I remember vividly when Dr. Sigit came to my office and proposed the idea of writing this book. In fact, he is one of my staff at that time on the function of the political function in the Embassy of Republic Indonesia in Korea. He shared with me his passion for documenting significant historical and political narratives and his desire to offer fresh perspective on South Korea's phenomenal rise. I have always known him as an excellent writer and scholar. Having written 6 books, each of them providing significant contribution to Indonesia literature, and some of his works, including The World in Bung Karno Grapes. As you may know, Bung Karno is our first president, and Bung Karno and the Mental Revolution in 2017, he written this book. And the Sukarno and John F. Kennedy Friendship in 1000 Days in 2018, and some others. It's quite productive, and this book is the 7th book that he written in this time. From that meeting, I committed myself to support his 7th book, and I am delighted to see this project come to fruition. Having served as Indonesian ambassador to South Korea, I personally witnessed the remarkable transformation of South Korea from one of the world's poorest countries and the global economic leaders currently. It is a story worth telling, that more importantly, a story worth learning from. The origin of this book stems from a critical gap in the literatures. There is a lack of comprehensive text that charts South Korea's dramatic rise from the ashes of war and the poverty to leading global economy. This narrative is not only about economy progress, but it is about the resilience of the people, the strength of national identity, and the strategic vision that propelled the nation forward. Historically, we know that after the Korean War, the country was left devastated. Its economy shattered. Its infrastructure destroyed. At that time, South Korea GDP per capita was among the lowest in the world, even lower than many countries in Asia and Africa. If I'm not mistaken, in 1953, it was around $67, a far cry from where it stands today. Yet in the decades that follow, South Korea achieved what can only be described as an economic miracle. Under the leadership of President Park Chung-hee from 1961 to 1979, the nation experienced rapid industrialization, raising its GDP per capita by over 1,500%, a feat that involved not only progress but also sacrifice. Today, South Korea stands as the 14th largest economy in the world, with the GDP per capita around $36,000. This remarkable journey is meticulously analyzed in this book through various perspectives, including micro, meso, and macro approaches. I just, borrow these words, micro, meso, and macro approaches from Dr. Sigit. The Miracle of Han River's book uses a micro, meso, and macro approach to provide a layered understanding of this transformation. It is a rare contribution that spans historical insight, economic analysis, and socio-political reflection. For the academic community, this book offers a framework for analyzing national development through different lenses, and for the practitioners, be they policymakers, economists, or business leaders, it offers lessons to strategic planning, innovation, and governance. And for readers and lovers of books, it is a compelling story for preferences and achievement that stirs both the mind and the heart. What we can learn from South Korea journey from this book. And this book launch came a significant time when we celebrate 50 years of diplomatic relation in 2023 between Indonesia and South Korea. And our two nations have forged a strong and dynamic partnership in fields as diverse as trade, culture, education, and defense. As Dr. Park Jin mentioned in his speech, I think all is elaborate from this proven of these words. But as I often like to remind, 50 years is not the end. It is merely a milestone on a much longer journey. One concrete example of the close and beneficial relationship in East Asia is the relationship between Indonesia and South Korea. For the over 50 years, Indonesia, South Korea have built a strong and mutual beneficial relationship. The two countries have cooperated in various fields and continue to strengthen their partnership through state visits, bilateral agreement, and multilateral cooperation or collaboration. As you can see in the pictures, our two presidents have hand in hand together during the meetings. Furthermore, I am deeply focused on several key areas of our collaboration, including the ASEAN Committee in Seoul, the establishment of the Indonesian Center, cultural cooperation, infrastructure, renewable energy, and investment, particularly in the electric vehicle ecosystem. And in 2023, as also mentioned by His Excellency Dr. Park Jin, South Korea investment in Indonesia increased tremendously, notably a battery cell factory, and also just recently, one of the strategic investment is a KCC glass in Batang factory in Central Java. I, together with DCM Park, was attend on that moment. It is one of the biggest glass factory, and thanks, and also I think congratulate to Korean investors, especially to the Korean KCC glass. Finally, the contract between the KCC glass and the government of Indonesia for getting the special price of the gas was concluded. I just met with the ministers, and I want him once again to realize his promise, because he is the one who promised to give the special price of the gas in this industry, and finally he just signed about a few days ago. So congratulate to you. I've been working with this project, like I'm doing for my own company, one by one, importing the iron, contract with the gas, and, hiring people. I help a lot to this company. Actually, it's not to this company, but some other Korean company, where they come to me, I deeply, sincere to help them to realize their investment in Indonesia due to our benefit as one of the foreign direct investors who committed to Indonesia to be invested here. Korea has invested about $1.3 billion in the second quarter of 2024. I quoted from your speech during the KCC glass opening, and ranked number 3, I was also surprised. You rise very rapid from the level 7 investor in Indonesia to become ranked 3rd in the direct investment in Indonesia in the second quarter of 2024. In terms of trade, during the first quarter of 2024, the total trade between the two countries reached $5.1 billion, with Indonesia enjoying a trade surplus of $0.2 billion in US dollar. This is also from your speech. So thank you again, and then give an applause to the DCM Park. Our nation is already on the rise, but fully realize our potential. We must embrace a mindset of growth, innovation, and collaboration, what some might call an Indonesian version of Korean way. The story of South Korea rise, especially as described in The Miracle of the Han River, this book, is one that resonates deeply with Indonesia. What South Korea has achieved is often described as an economic miracle, but the success was not built overnight, nor was it without strategy. South Korea's rise can be attributed to three key pillars: long-term planning, strong education, and close collaboration between government and the private sectors. This long-term planning and these key pillars, actually long-term planning, strong education, and close collaboration between government and private sector, I mentioned and I repeatedly mentioned to the President to copy what the Koreans have been done quite successfully to Indonesia. Because I believe also with these four pillars, Indonesia also can be success as good as Koreans. One of the distinctive cultural traits that driven this rapid development is the famous, what we call pali-pali mentally. I think pali-pali means kerja, work. Whatever the people say, you just work and do. This is pali-pali, right? Is it correct, Chandra? So quick, yeah. This first meaning, hari-hari, encapsulates the sense of urgency with which South Korea approach to their work and innovation. It is this very spirit that has enabled them to stay ahead of the curve of industries like semiconductor, automotive, and technology. Moreover, South Korea has successfully diversified an economy to embracing the creative industry, from K-pop, K-drama to Korean film, and the Hallyu wave has taken the world by storm, creating a global cultural phenomenon and goes beyond entertainment. The export of the K-pop album alone, only K-pop album alone, reached $284 million in 2023, while Korean film and drama dominate streaming platform worldwide. Before I begin my ambassadorship tenures in South Korea, I have closely observed the advanced development of creative and digital economy in South Korea. I don't know whether one of my staff here, Dr. Tanjung is the person that I appointed at the time, being the coordinating function of the creative economy in Seoul, in the Embassy of Seoul. And today he just, I think, inaugurate his new position as the director in BPIP. Is it correct? Okay, Research and Innovation Agency. Congratulations to Dr. Tanjung. And another congratulate for me to one of also my staff when I was in Korea is Dr. Yanti Wirayuda as a director of economy of the Southeast ASEAN. Okay. So I hope all of my ex-staff in Korea become promoted to be a higher position. Like Dr. Sigit, I hope probably after come back from here, Ibu Selda will be considered to promote him. And for Ibu Selda himself, I hope also in the near future, coming soon, I think it's not the near future, will become the ambassador of one of the country. So I hope, we pray for her together. Again, I continue my story. So one of the first initiatives that I did I created a division on creative and digital economy, startup acceleration, and this is the only division that differentiates Indonesia Embassy in Seoul with other Indonesian embassies in other cities. The division was tasked exclusively to facilitate stronger cooperation between Indonesia and Korea, movers and shakers in the field of creative and digital economy, boost startup cooperation and conduct people-to-people diplomacy. I am pleased to note that in less than 2 years, unfortunately, the division has thrived in the implementing creative ideas and delivering doable programs such as Inception of Indonesia. Batik electric vehicle Ioniq 5 produced by Hyundai to mark of the 50 years anniversary of Indonesia-Korea diplomatic relationship. Indonesia-Korea Young Entrepreneurs Forum in Seoul in collaboration with Mengguncang Media Group, iWave and K-Wave together for the future in Jakarta as the forum that gathered the leaders of creative and digital industry between our two nations. This is where we as Indonesian can learn. Our nation is already on the rise, but to fully realize our potential, we must embrace a mindset of growth, innovation, and collaboration. What some might call an Indonesian version of the Korean ways, as we are reaching 2045. In the centenary of Indonesia and Korean independence, let us focus more in turning community-based relation into the creativity-based collaboration. I believe this book will serve as beacon of knowledge and inspiration for Indonesian younger generation, policymakers, and all who are dedicated to the betterment of our nation. South Korea's story is not only theirs, it can be ours too, if we are willing to learn, adopt, and strive towards excellence. So before I closing my speech, I would like also to show to you that during my ambassadorship, I also, supporting some of the writers to write these 4 books. The first book is actually the leadership of President Jokowi. It's written in Hangul or in Korean. For someone who interested, you can take this book freely. We distribute it free to this book to the person who is really interested to go. And then the second book is in Hangul also. It's about Pancasila. Our Pancasila is Indonesian untuk Dunia. This is also in Hangul. You can read this one. And of course, the 50 years relationship between Korea and Indonesia. This is also we distributed to the Korea in the Library of Korea by free at the time. And the last one, of course, the book that today we launch is The Miracle of Han River. In closing, it is not just a book, but South Korea, it is a source of inspiration for all of us, reminders that with the right state strategies, the right mindset, and the right collaboration, we can achieve great things for Indonesia. Once again, I congratulate to Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo for the launching of this book, with the pray and hope that one day he became the ambassador of Republic Indonesia and somewhere in the country. Kamsahamnida. Thank you very much. Kamsahamnida.
Thank you, Pak Sulis. Now I would like also to invite Bapak Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo in order to give us some introductions to the book and also perhaps present us the summary of the miracle of the hands that is discussed in this book. Pak Sigit, please, you have time to give some introduction.
Thank you. But before I start, can we play the video that we prepared before about the books?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Korea Selatan mengguncang dunia. Negeri gingseng telah bertransformasi menjadi negara maju, bahkan merajai dunia. Mulai dari industri teknologi tinggi dengan brand kelas dunia hingga budaya populernya, terutama drama Korea dan musik K-pop.
Saya lagi baca buku ini. 안녕하세요, saya Nadia. Saat ini saya membawa buku berjudul Keajaiban Sungai Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia. Kalau bahasa Koreanya, 한강의 기적. Buku ini sangat bagus menurut saya karena menceritakan tentang kemajuan Korea dari negara yang miskin menjadi negara maju sekarang seperti ini. Saya yakin buku ini sangat bermanfaat bagi pembaca di Indonesia untuk belajar mengenai Korea Selatan. Banyak yang dapat dipelajari dari buku ini. Semoga keajaiban Sungai ini dapat menginspirasi kepada kemajuan Indonesia. 감사합니다. 우리 다 같이 책 읽어요.
Buku Keajaiban Sungai Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia menyajikan fakta-fakta unik dan menarik dari Korea Selatan yang belum Anda ketahui. Mengungkap budaya dan tata cara hidup warga Korea Selatan dan pastinya mengulik rahasia di balik suksesnya K-pop yang bikin gemes dan penasaran. Keajaiban Sungai istilah ini merujuk pada kemajuan pertumbuhan ekonomi, industrialisasi, pencapaian teknologi yang terjadi di Korea Selatan hingga detik ini. Sebuah transformasi yang tentunya melalui kerja keras, ketekunan, kedisiplinan, bahkan pengorbanan demi kemajuan dan kemakmuran yang disiapkan secara serius, konsisten, dan berkesinambungan. Buku Keajaiban Sungai Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia karya Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo ini mengupas secara lengkap tentang rahasia keberhasilan, sejarah peradaban, nilai-nilai lokal wisdom, dan semangat perjuangan Korea Selatan. Buku ini ditulis melalui pendekatan deskripsi sejarah, teori akulturasi dan inkulturasi antropologis. Semoga buku ini menginspirasi bangsa Indonesia. Segera dapatkan buku Keajaiban Sungai Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia karya Dr. Sigit Aris Prasetyo dan diterbitkan oleh penerbit Imania.
Thank you. I think with this video, my job is done. So, but at least make my job easier now. First of all, I would like to say good afternoon. His Excellency Park Jin, Minister of Foreign Affairs of Korea. His Excellency Pak Gandhi Sulistianto, members of Presidential Advisory Council, my former boss, but he will be always my boss. And then His Excellency Dr. Rizal Sukma, the Executive Director of Center for East Asia Studies, former Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia in UK, Ireland, and international maritime organizations. I know him quite a long time ago. It was 14 years ago. I attended a meeting in this building, and I will always remember that when I met with the late Mr. Hadi Susastro, where he gave me a book that remind me always. And so this building is special for me. And then I would like also to greet Mr. Joseph Wandandi, Chair Advisor Board Center for East Asia Studies, University Prasetyo Mulya, and also Vice Chair and Board of Trustee CSIS Foundation. And Bapak Jisman Simanjuntak, Rector of Universitas Prasetyo Mulia, Chair Board of Director CSIS Foundation. And also Ibu Zelda, the Sase Affair of Indonesia Embassy in Seoul. So I have to say special thanks to Ibu Zelda, because without his support, I could not come here. So I came here because of his support. And I would like also to greet my former boss, also Ibu Dubes Artia Tobing. Ibu, I always remember you as my boss long time ago, and I really thanks for your mentorship when I was just start my career as a young diplomat in the Kemlo. Thank you, Bu. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed an honor for me to stand in front of you all here, distinguished the prominent expert, and then that I could not mention one by one. To begin with, I would like to say that really life is full of mystery. More than that, life is full of coincidence. It is like what Khalil Gibran, if you know him, when he said that life unfolds itself in mystery ways. I do believe that. Because why? Because what I feel now, right now, I'm standing here holding my own book about the miracle of Han River that I never thought, I never imagined that I will stand in here. I never thought that I will bring my book here. So again, I believe what Khalil Gibran says, that life unfolds itself in mystery way. The story began 3 years ago. If I may tell why I write this book. It was 3 years ago when my ministry asked me that I should go to Seoul to serve as a diplomat in our embassy in Seoul. Again, I never thought that I would be posted in Seoul. I never thought. And then even I never thought that I would write this book. It was a funny story actually, if I may say, that there was a mechanism in our ministry where a diplomat will be posted overseas, and the directors had a meeting with others to decide where this diplomat go to somewhere, this diplomat go to somewhere. And during that meeting, I forgot exactly what day was it. I got a call from my director, the level director in that meeting. And she asked me, Sigit, do you speak Korea? And I say, no. And then she asked me again, have you ever taken a Korean course language before? And I say, no. Then I say, oh, I'm done. I'm done. But a few hours after that, I got a call again. Sigit, you go to Seoul. So I was stunned at the time. I was surprised. But I know Ibu Zelda, I know that because of Ibu Zelda, so I can go to Seoul. I know about the story. So thank you so much for that, Ibu Zelda. Yeah, so it was really, shocking for me that I will go to Seoul soon after that. Then you know what, I struggle hard to read as much as possible about Korea at the time. I read books about politics. I read a book about history, Korean War, economic developments, and so on. Even I read about the regions. And so during that day, before I leave to Seoul, I I put myself in my room, keep reading about Korea. So that's why when I go to Korea, I well prepared to know about the country and some jobs that I do. And then I was surprised again. I found that not many books or manuscripts or researches about Korea written by Indonesian. I was shocked. I was sad at the time actually. Mostly books that I read come from Western countries, written by scholars from Europe, US, and of course from Korea. So that gave me an idea. That gave me inspirations to write a book about Korea one day. So I have a dream at that time. Before I finish my job as a diplomat in Seoul, I will come back with a book. And I did it. So this book in my hands, it takes for me about 3 years to do this. It's quite a big book, and it's quite a thick book. And I'm sorry about that, because when you read the book, it's quite big to read. And then the book is about 350 pages, I think more than that. And so what is the reason? What make me want to read the books? What is the purpose? So actually, I would say that I have a simple questions that motivated me to write the book. How did Korea, if you read the story of Korea, especially in years of 1950s, Korea was a poor country, very poor country. Even we are lucky than Korea at that time. And then, so how Korea from poor country, transform itself into a developed country right now, and so that's why people say it is a miracle. So that's why I choose the title of the book is The Miracle of Han River. So that's a big question in my mind at the time. So that's why I have an idea. I think one day I could write a book about this miracle that Indonesian, especially Indonesian readers, like a young generation like you all here, can study from Korea. So I would say that Korea experienced multi-dimensional destructions in the 1950s. The civil war that happened in this country for 3 years, completely make the Korea flat at that time. When I did research about the period of Korea in that year, so I was sad actually, because when I do this, I do archive study also. I look at the history, I look at the videos, I look at the pictures, and then the majority of population is poor. Even I was sad, Mr. Park Jin, when I read the literature, when I read the storybooks about Korea, I saw video where many beggars are around, many thousands of them, they're living in the street in Seoul. Even I saw a video when there's a car across the street. Children try to chase the car and say, give me something. So those pictures actually very, very sad to know about the life in Korea during that time. And even, General MacArthur, very popular general from US, after the Korean War, he came to Korea, and he said, this country need at least 100 years to be a normal country. So from his statement, he said that this country is hopeless. This country is very poor. I think to be a normal country, you will need 100 years. So can you imagine about that? So that situation at the time, very, very sad to know about the story of Korea. Okay, sorry. So I think I need to wrap up into 2 minutes. All right. So I'll try to make it faster now. So I think Ambassador Gandhi already mentioned about the situation at the time, that the GDP per capita at that time very low. I think it's a year they just make a $65.7. Even it's lower than Philippines, Thailand. So even I would say this, even Indonesia at that time, Indonesia joined with the United Nations Korean Reconstruction Agency, or UNKRA. At that time, even Indonesia donate the money for the construction of Korea among 143,000 US dollars. So looking at that pictures, we can say that Korea is here and we are, I think, here. So we are luckier than them at that time because we have natural resources. They don't have it. They have misery. They don't have something to sell. They have stone, what they say at the time. All right. To answer this, in this book, I try to use an approach of micro, meso, and macro approach. So I use the three approaches to try to answer the big question in my mind at the time. And then I'm so lucky actually that I live in Korea at the moment, because why? Not only reading the books about Korean, but I have an opportunity to speak with the people. I have many times of interviews. Sometimes I spend my weekend to speak with some professors, some scholars in Korea, to have a talk about this book. And then even I visited, because I live in Korea, so I have opportunity to visit many museums, many historical places in Korea, especially during my weekend actually. So I would say that mostly, Mr. Park Jin, most museum in Korea, especially in city and in Seoul, I visited already. So even because that my kid complain on me, Daddy, why we have to keep visiting museum all the time, especially the weekend? But it was great, time for me, because so that's why I use my time to learn as much possible to enrich this writing of the book. So through this book, I found many interesting things. I don't need to go in detail about this book because I think you already got the books, and maybe you can read after this. But I would say that the economic transformations of Korea certainly they did not happen overnight, and this nation made it through hardworking, perseverance, discipline, and several good characters. I think I need to go faster. I think, yeah. All right, and then, so there are many great values. If you read the books, I try to make it simple. I try to make it the storytelling in this, so that's why it is easy to understand about the message of the book. So there are several values, mentality, and characters embodied in Korean people that I think this is the important things why Korea can achieve the economic transformations. Work ethic, for example, mentality of pali-pali, and then competitive mentality. Those characters, I think becomes a modality, become a factors that Korea can catch up with the modernity and, of course, economic developments. And so in this book, you will find several values, several characters about Korea, why they can be like now. So I would say also that leadership is another key success of Korea. If you study about Korea, especially during 1960s until 1970, you will find a great leaders, namely President Park Chung-hee. I know he is controversy, but I myself, a scholar, a foreigner, I would say without President Park Chung-hee, I think Korea cannot be like
now. Okay, Pak Sigit, so really sorry that we really run out of time.
Yes.
At the moment, so we still have question and answer.
Give me one minute before I end this. To end this, I think I would like to say thanks so much for Pak Sulis. I think without him, I could not come here. Without him, I think this event cannot happen. And I would like also to thanks to Ibu Zilda. Again, without her, I cannot join this event. And of course, I would like to thanks CSIS, Prasetyo Mulya for hosting this. And again, it is my honor. It is really my honor to be here. And thank you so much for that. And then because of the moderator already said that I don't have a minute anymore. So again, after this, I will be happy to get some questions from you. Thank you so much. Yeah. I'm sorry, Pak Sigit, to press you over the times, but because we are running out of the times, and I think the audience still have a chance to discuss with you later on about the book, and I had a chance also to look at some pages in the book, and it's quite interesting discussions on Korea, and I really encourage you to read the book to find out more about Korea and its miracle developments during the last 50, 60 years. Now I'd like to open up for discussions. Actually, I believe from all these three speakers, there are many things that we can discuss, we can try to explore more. So I need to invite you for discussions. Unfortunately, we do have only 10 minutes left for discussions, but I believe this is it's enough time for us. Is there anybody would like to pose questions, either to, of course, to Excellency Dr. Park Jin or to Pak Gandhi Sulistianto and also Pak Sigit on the book? Oh, okay. Please, Pak, introduce yourself.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Mr. Park Jin, Your Excellency, Ambassador Sulis, Pak Rizal Sukma, Ibu Artauli, Pak Yusuf Anandi, Ibu Zelda, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nabil. I'm from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. First of all, I want to say congratulations to my colleague, Dr. Sigit, for his new book. Also, it's an honor to meet you again, Your Excellency. It's beyond my dream to see you again because especially after serving 2 times as the liaison officer to the President Yoon Suk-yeol during the G20 summit in Bali and ASEAN summit in Jakarta. So this event is like a deja vu for me, and especially with the presentation of the book and the topic. I have one question to Your Excellency. You mentioned a lot of similarities or complementarity between the 2 countries, the state, the structure, the characteristic. May I ask your opinion on the one aspect that has not been addressed? Perhaps it's the diversity of the people in Indonesia compared to the people in Korea, that is one ethnic groups. So is there anything that you can perhaps give some perspective on Indonesia with regard to that, from that perspective? Thank you very much.
Thank you. The question is about the difference between Korea and Indonesia, especially on the ethnic diversity, where in Indonesia it's quite diverse, while in Korea you can say it's more homogeneous in terms of the ethnicity. So we'll gather the question first, and then after that maybe 1 or 2 more questions. Ibu, you still have the chance.
Thank you so much. It's nice to see all familiar places as well here. During the 50 years of the Indonesian and Korea relationship in Seoul, we met everyone here. So thank you so much. My name is Rati. I'm actually a student at Ihwa Ideo Dehakyo, Ihwa Women's University in Seoul at the moment. But now I'm back to Indonesia, waiting for my defense on Korea foreign policy toward ASEAN. So my question is more in academic side. So I was asking questions about, during my study there, I felt that North Korea issues become a huge things for South Korea. It's very different security condition compared to us in Indonesia. But the problem when we talk about the CSP, the elevations of strategic partnership, we kind of see that there is a limited cooperation when we talk about North Korea issues. So in a way that ASEAN provide RF as well, Indonesia provide mediations, but there are so many criticisms whether the platform is actually able, enhance capacity to actually solve the North Korean issue. And as we can see, Korean government leading more towards the trilateral with Japan and also with United States. So I believe we want to elevate the relation more comprehensively. We need to address the security issues. And I just want to know what you thought as a practitioners that we can do as ASEAN and as Indonesia that can actually significantly enhance the cooperation in North Korea relationship. Thank you so much.
Are you directed these questions to His Excellency Dr. Park Jin or?
Actually, it's for the three of them because we need to see the Korean side and also Indonesian side, Pak Gandhi.
All right, then. Is there anyone else post questions? I think this is the last questions. Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. My name is Kim. I am from FHA, Central FHA. And my question to the panelists is that, Your Excellency, you have mentioned how you expect now for Indonesia to have more culture in Korea, right? For more cultural exchange, like how us Indonesians, we consume Korean culture. But what do you think are the challenges that we as Indonesians face in trying to push our culture to Korea? Because from what I see, I don't think that Koreans are too interested in our culture. Thank you very much.
Okay, we have 3 questions already. So I'd like to invite Excellency Dr. Park Jin to answer first, and then after that, Pak Gandhi Sulistianto, maybe you also would like to complement, and also Pak Subin.
Well, I'll be very brief. On the first question, Indonesia and Korea have different environment in terms of multi-ethnic society here, whereas we used to believe that Korea is a homogeneous country, but that's not the case anymore. We have lots of foreign residents living in Korea now, more than 2.5 million. So Korea is rapidly becoming a multicultural society. So we need to learn from your experience of how to integrate all these members of society into one country and to have a very inclusive politics of trying to include the members in the country together. I think that Korea is now moving into a new stage where we are not just having to reach out to the global society, but we have to globalize our own domestic environment. So I think that is another dimension of our national development. In that sense, I think that Indonesian experience and wisdom and your advice will be very useful and helpful. And I think we need to communicate between the two countries on the cultural, social level, to understand each other and to communicate much more effectively. On North Korea, as we all know, North Korea is going in a wrong direction, unfortunately. I think they should pay more attention to the people's livelihood instead of proliferating nuclear weapons and the missile provocations. People are starving, economy is failing, but you are squandering scarce resources for the weapons of mass destruction. I think this doesn't help anybody. This is not just irrational, irresponsible, and I think it's immoral, because the human rights situation in the country is horrible. So we would like to give an opportunity to the North through our audacious initiative that if North Korea decides to move towards denuclearization and work for the people's livelihood, we will be very ready to provide support, assistance to North Korea's transformation for the livelihood of the people. Political, diplomatic, economic assistance could be provided to the North. And we hope that North Korea can catch this opportunity before it's too late. So that's our position. On the last question, I think that our cultural exchange should be two-way street, but not a one-way street. So I think we need to learn more about the history, culture, and the language and society of Indonesia, much more than before. We have some Indonesian department in some universities in Korea, which are very great, and I think we should expand the basis of academic exchange and also cultural understanding of both sides. It requires efforts from both government and the private sector as well. Thank you.
Silakan Pak Sulis.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, Ibu Rati, I think it's about, you asked my comment regarding the North Korea, isn't it? So for me, it's easy, you know. I remember when I was appointed as an ambassador in Korea, called Korea, the common question to me is very common, you know. Everybody asks me, to south or to north, you know. If to north, that means that the president doesn't like you and you kick out from the country to somewhere, you know. Yeah. But if to south, that means that president loves you. That's all my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe I will address the last question, I think. Yes, I think I agree with Minister Park Jin that he said that there is a need of two-way cultural exchange. Yeah, I think it's a challenge, I think, for us to promote our Indonesian culture in Korea, but our embassy keep working to do it. And as for example, you know, this month, exactly on 30 October 2024, our embassy is going to do an event, we call it the Friends of Indonesia Symposiums. So that event will invite some Indonesians from Korean scholars to meet together to discuss about some agenda that we set up. And interesting thing, when we prepare this, this project will be under instruction of our Ibu Zelda, our Associate Affairs of our embassy. And, you know, during that event, we were going to do an exhibition of books written by Korean scholars. What surprised me, there are more than 70 books written by Koreans that we're going to publish in that event. So I think there are many ways, I think, to encourage how to encourage more Korean understand about the cultures. And this is one of our job embassy. For example, that we're going to do the Friends of Indonesia Symposium coming soon. That we will use those Indonesians from Korea to promote Indonesian cultures in Korea. So it is, I know it is a challenge for us, but I think it is our task to do it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll come to an end of our sessions. I think you will agree if I say that during more than these 2 hours, we have very productive, informative, and also insightful sessions. We have discussed about Korea's positions in this regional situation. We also have discussed and listened about Indonesia and Korea relationship and how we can proceed in order to have stronger relations in the future. And we even go deep dive actually to look at Korean history of developments, especially when we're discussing about the book, this miracle of Han River. And I believe all of us can learn something from our sessions, and I'd like to send my appreciations again, especially to His Excellency Dr. Park Jin for your visit and a very informative lecture that you present to us. Also to Pak Gandhi Sulistianto and Pak Sigit for very entertaining and very, I think, very good efforts to introduce Korea, the history of Korea, history of the developments of Korea, even more to Indonesian public. Thank you very much again. I'd like to invite you to give a round of applause for our speakers, all of them. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all distinguished speakers, for the insightful sessions. And I would like to invite all speakers to remain on stage as we will have remarks by Excellency Rizal Sukma, Executive Director of Center for East Asian Studies.
Well, first of all, of course, you need an official closing, for any event. And one thing that I really noticed, in addition to the great public lecture just given by His Excellency Park Jin, I also learned something, that Ibu Zelda was very powerful. So Pak Sigit mentioned her 5 times. Well, of course, I will only take this opportunity, to thank all of you, for being here. And I would like to especially thank Pak Sulis and also Pak Park Jin for being here in Jakarta, to deliver. This is actually the second public lecture that the center organized, which will of course be followed by another public lecture later on. We hope somebody from Japan will be able to come and then share his or her thought on Japan's role in East Asia community building, and then later on someone from ASEAN countries, because East Asia in the platform of the Center for East Asian Studies include both Northeast Asia, the 3, and the Southeast Asia. So I think that will really bring together all the series that we planned before we publish, all the presentations that you just delivered, and also the previous one, and then the later public lectures that we are planning. And I would like also to thank Pak Jisman, Pak Yusuf, Ibu Clara for helping us, in putting together this event. And especially, I would like to thank the team at the Prasetyo Mulia, Pak Teddy, Pak Eko, and also team at the CSIS, who again helped, putting this event together. But of course, special thanks must go to Mas Boyke and Mas Alan. It's excellent two staff from the One Team Press, from the Presidential Advisory Board. We thought their support, I don't think that they could do it, because the center is still one-man institution. So hopefully, we can get more staff from Pak Jisman later on, so while he's still, the rector of the Universitas Prasetyo Mulia. And again, Pak Sigit, thank you so much, for terrorizing me, especially for one of the books that, you put together, the 50 years of Indonesia and Korea. And of course, congratulations for the publication of the book, on South Korea. And hopefully, as one of the objectives of the center is actually to build expertise in Indonesia on South Korea, because, to be frank, I don't see yet, who can be really regarded as a Korea expert in Indonesia, as a China expert, and as a Japan, expert. So we don't really have real, expertise. Even though our relationship, has been very, very substantial with the three Northeast Asia countries. So that's why I think the initiative that has been encouraged by and supported by Pak Yusuf and Pak Jisman really, aim for building that expertise in Indonesia. So again, I would like to again ask your continued support, for realizing these, very goals of the center. So once again, thank you so much for being here. Now I would like to invite Pak Yusuf, Pak Jisman to the stage to receive the book, from Pak Sigit, together with Pak Sulis already probably have many, but still, I think Pak Sigit needs to present, and also to Pak Park Jin and Pak Jose. Please, Pak Yusuf and Mr. Park, as the DCM, please come to the stage. I thought that you already left. To receive the book in Indonesia.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a book presentations by the writer, Dr. Sigit, to some distinguished guests that are present today. Please, first, Pak Sigit could give the book to Bapak Jisman Simanjuntak, Rector of Universitas Prasetyo Mulia. And then to Bapak Yusuf Wanandi, Chair of Advisory Board, Center for East Asian Studies. Excellencies Park Jin, former Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Korea. And next, to Excellencies Gandhi Sulistianto, and to Excellencies Pak Sudok. Thank you, Dr. Sigit. And now we're going to have a photo sessions. So I would like to ask all media representatives and CSIS team to be taking the photos. All right, ready everyone? And 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you so much, all distinguished guests. Can we give a big round of applause, everyone? Now, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests and excellencies, we have now concluded the public lecture and the book launch of Keajaiban Sungai Korea Selatan Mengguncang Dunia. So thank you so much for your participations and see you on the next CEAS event. Have a wonderful day.